both of you, what was it like just going through the memories that's going to be Keith's 500th win and just living through that?
Go first.
Uh, Really just trying to embrace that moment for him, first off, and then continuing to just play as a team, play together as a brotherhood, just continue to gel and just come out here and get a win, man. What was needed.
I would say it was very great being a part of that because not too many coaches get 500 wins. So just being a part of that and being a part of his legacy, I thought it was a great game and a great team win.
Did you guys know about the chance for 500 tonight? Was there talk about it from him, his assistants, or anybody?
Oh
How did you know about it?
yeah. We had our media team on it, so they were staying on us. We had a couple people make a couple messages for them, so we had it planned out the whole week.
Going beyond the 500 wins, how is the team progressing now that you've won a few games, 3 out of the last 4?
Our confidence is just reeling up. It's skyrocketing, and we're just continuing to gel, man. We're continuing to just stick to our game plan, our defensive principles to help us win games and continue to string out wins like this for our fans, but ourselves as well.
Kevin, what's different defensively, you think, over these last few games?
I feel like our juice level, the energy that we have, and then just communicating. The last couple of games where we had like a losing streak, we weren't really communicating. So coaches really emphasized communicating and just bringing the juice level every day.
Of the energy is just taking it, as cliche as it is, one possession at a time, just executing what you've been able to execute in practice and utilizing it in games.
It takes a lot of energy, but Coach harps on it. He enforces it and instills in us that we have to take every play serious and continue to just know that this is a grind and we're in February, so nothing's going to get easier. Things will get harder, and so will games. So we just have to continue to play our game in our way and trust in our plan.
For Day-Day, then, Kevin, could you each say what you think Coach Danbrock means to you, what he's meant to you?
First, I'll start off just a loyal guy, man. A loyal guy, a loving guy, and not just a guy, a coach and a mentor as well. On and off the court, he cares. So he just plays a big role in all of our lives. That's just not only basketball. He cares for our academics, us getting our degrees, and it's just more than basketball. And that really plays a part in the team when it comes to basketball because there's so many other things that can distract you and just get you off track to having a bad season, I would say, or just losing games. So he does more than just be a coach, and I really appreciate that. Speaking for
Coaches.
myself.
Going back off him, coaches really love us. Like he's gonna worry about you as a person, not just as basketball. So he's gonna always check up on you, make sure you're straight, and then on the court, he's not gonna let you slack. So that means just showing that he really cares. I mean, he mean a lot to me because he gave me a second chance, but to prove myself again in a bigger stage. So I very appreciate him for that.
What is he like in practice maybe when things aren't going so well?
I mean, he's him, I would say, but some may not know who he is in those closed doors or whatnot. But, I mean, he's the same guy, typical, erratic, I mean, high energy. You could say he's crazy or whatnot, but if you love this game, you got to be crazy. So that's what it is.
Day-Day, you were struggling shooting the ball there for a little bit up until these last 2 games, and now you've gotten back to where you were earlier in the season. Has it felt any differently for you out there? Do you feel like you're getting better looks? Are you more confident, or just the ebb and flow?
I mean, I'm just continuing to just trust my teammates. I know they have trust in me. They tell me to shoot. Coaches tell me to shoot. And then I just trust my work ethic. At the end of the day, I live in the gym, and I just trust that. I trust that if I'm in there grinding before and after hours more than other people, then the results will show sooner or later. The storm can't last forever. So I just continue to stick to that game plan for myself individually.
This is a question for both of you as guards. We look at the traditional point guard and shooting guard for how backcourt players are looked at. For you guys, it sort of seems like you're more really true of a combo variety, where Day-Day you can facilitate 7 assists a night, Tevin you had 7 to 10 shooting. Is it safe to just call you guys just combo guards, or is there either a position that you prefer?
I mean, with us, I mean, me and him play well off each other. Like 1 minute, I can bring the ball down and facilitate. Next minute he can. So just having that and taking pressure off me, it's been great.
I think I wouldn't label us as a particular certain kind of guard because, like you just mentioned, we can do both. So I would just say we're guards that can do both. So I wouldn't really put a name or a stamp or title on what labels us as guards, but we appreciate that a lot.
You guys came from the MAC and Conference USA. So far, a month into A10 play, has it been sort of as you expected when it comes to the level of competition and coaching? Is there anything that you haven't expected that's occurred yet?
I mean, this has been everything I expected. I mean, stepping up in the level of conference, I knew it was gonna be more physical. So I just got to get my body ready and just stay ready.
I was just unaware. I didn't really know, but like I mentioned before, I just try to trust in my teammates and my work ethic, and then the results will show. So I didn't really have too much concern, but I wasn't aware of how I would play or what our team outcome would be, although I had great confidence that we would be a really good team.
How did you guys congratulate Coach in the locker room? You spraying with Gatorade or?
Oh yeah, drowned him. Drowned him with water.
Drowned him?
Drowned him.
Yeah, drowned him.
You might as well say he jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
How did he react to it?
He was just sitting there, paused, but he was taking it.
Did Coach have any LeBron-centric motivation for you guys before this game today?
Nah, we spoke about his accomplishment before, like just saying like if he's gonna get it or not. We think or know he's gonna get it. That kind of conversation, but not really before this game talking about LeBron or anything like that. We were really focused on our game plan.
Dave, just curious as a basketball player, thoughts of what LeBron has accomplished.
Yeah. I've been a LeBron fan since I was younger. I played on LeBron AAU team, so it means a lot to me personally, knowing that I have no connection like whatsoever with him, but I'm happy for him, and just to have coaches that have a connection with him, that's great for me to just learn gems and just be around that type of connection, just hear things, old stories, things like that. So it's just great being around that and knowing things and the possibility of reaching him.
For these guys? All right, thanks, Coach, here in a minute.
With me for 35 years, so, and allowed me to do this, so I'll just briefly I thought we played really well. I thought Tevin Brewer was really good, Day Grant. And then Trey Williams' stat sheet doesn't look very good, but he did an unbelievable job on Oduro, which allowed us not to have to double team him, which allowed us to stay at home on the three-point shooters. So fire away.
Now that you've done it, thoughts on 500 wins?
Say that again.
Now that you've done it, what are your thoughts on 500 wins?
You know what? I think it'll mean a little bit more to me once I'm done. I just want to win as many games as we can and, get these guys to get what they deserve, really. They put a lot of time into it. There is some things that went through my head, so I purposely wore this, because without him and, little Drew, really, and Sheon Cotton and Romeo Travis and Willie McGee and all those kids that played for me at St. V, I wouldn't have been a college coach again. So, I'm going to pay homage to him. And then it's great to have little Drew here. And then all those guys that have coached with me all these years, Terry Wygand, Rick McFadden, Charles and Carl Thomas. So, to put up with me all those years, it's a rough deal. So that's kind of what went through my head. But really, I try to live in the moment, and then when I'm all done, I'll think about it a little bit more.
Last games, has this been the best 80 minutes of defense that you guys have had this year?
So if you look at the numbers, we've improved defensively as we've gone. And we've made a few subtle changes. We moved Trey Williams back to guarding the bigger, stronger guys and played Reese a little bit more on the less strong guys. And Trey Williams is a good shot blocker around the rim, but he hadn't been blocking shots because it's the first time he was guarding perimeter guys. So we made some changes there. And then we've been hammering them home just on being better defensively. And I feel like we've done a much better job. And then we made some changes in our ball screen coverage, but mostly just our guys, just their willingness to want to play it. We've made some big improvement. We're still not where we want to be, but we're fourth or fifth in the league now in conference games. So that means we've made improvement. I didn't even think offensively we were great tonight. We missed a lot of open ones that we're capable of making, but we're sharing the ball good. We're making the next pass. And I think another subtle thing is McGriff helps us because he can really pass. So now you put him in and he's making that next pass, and it's a big deal.
Keith, why did you become a coach? What was your motivation?
It's a funny question, Jerry, because my mom, was an intellect. She's a psychologist. She wrote a lot of papers on date rape and gender equity and all kinds of things. And, she married my dad, who was a player, right? And she used to always say, well, I don't know what basketball got either one of you. So what happened really is I was going to grad school at Akron and was getting my MBA, and my high school coach became the coach, and he asked me if I wanted to be the grad assistant. And I figured, hell, I was going to grad school anyway, I might as well. And I always liked basketball better than baseball. I was just better in baseball. So I did it, and then the next thing I know, I had a master's in business, and Tiffin was a business school, so they hired me because I could teach business classes. So I don't think they hired me because I was a great coach or anything. I was only 25 years old. So then I never really got out of it.
When did you realize it was going to be your life's work?
Pretty quick. I liked it. I liked the competition, the competitiveness of it. And then I thought it would never be my life's work when, after Central Michigan, I thought I'd never coach again. So it's kind of funny how life takes a full revolution. You have your debacle at Central Michigan, and then you get to coach LeBron. I mean, you can't get much of a bigger dichotomy than that. Just tells you how life works sometimes.
Check your phone yet?
Now, my phone's upstairs. I never bring my phone down. I'm old school.
You've got to be blowing up with some text messages by now, right?
I'm assuming I have a few friends. I wouldn't say a million, but I got a couple, It's like people ask me about LeBron breaking the record last night and me getting 500 tonight. Like, that's a joke. Like, those aren't even comparable. That guy's a special human being, So for me, it's nice, but now we're 16-8. Let's see where we can go from here. That's kind of how I view the thing. I think we can go pretty good, though.
Sorry, I wanted to ask you one thing about last night, what that was like to watch and what was going through.
All right, you want the truth? So Little Drew was out there. I call him Little Drew. He's a grown man, but that's what I call him because Big Drew's his dad. So he went. So I knew that he was going to get it last night because Brown wouldn't have asked him and those guys from Akron to come if he wasn't going to get it last night. And quite honestly, I get up at 5 a.m. So I wasn't watching the game because I knew he was going to get it anyway, but my wife woke me up and told me he broke the record. So my wife watched the game, and I didn't. So, but I knew, I was proud of him. And the thing about him is I'm proud about what he's done on the court, but I'm even prouder of what kind of man he is. He's a great human being.
Were there players from St. V or from your Akron days here tonight?
I don't think so. There's one. This guy right here. Yeah, that'd be great. So, little Drew, a lot of people thought that Braun made the decision to go to St. V, but really little Drew made the decision. That shows how much clout he had over the whole group. And so that kind of changed my whole career, really. And then, St. V gave me the opportunity to coach as well before these guys got here, which, my own high school didn't give me the opportunity. So just funny how it works.
Coach, how has the experience coaching LeBron changed you when it comes to scouting talent and coaching talent, knowing that you're not going to have guys as good as him, but it may turn it's mainly just how you develop guys that aren't as good as him, but still keep it in perspective.
So the hardest thing when you coach LeBron is he was so coachable and he was such a sponge that it's hard to coach other people that won't listen. When the greatest player in the world will listen to you, but some other guys don't, it's a little bit hard to be patient. And then there's never going to be another guy like him. There may be guys that are great players, but there's never going to be one that's cloned just like him. He's good at everything. So when you coach guys like LeBron, you coach them differently than you coach average players. What you try to do is free up his brain and don't get him thinking about little stupid stuff like which foot he's pivoting on. You just get him to play hard, and you teach him as much as you can teach him. And that was a fun part about coaching these guys is they were the smartest. Like I'd coached mostly college kids. They were the smartest. They were like above college players IQ-wise when you taught them things. And LeBron included, obviously. LeBron's a genius. He's a basketball genius.
You saw the pressure on him when he was in high school. How is it he was been able to get through all that, live up to all those expectations?
Well, little Drew will probably be able to answer that a little bit better, but the one thing I will tell you is I felt like the only time he really struggled with it was the first year in Miami. Because it was the first time in his life that people really didn't like him, because he left Cleveland. And I thought he struggled that first year in Miami, but he went back to basics and just the love of the game. I think that's why he's such a great player over a 20-year period is he loves what he does. He loves the game. He's an unbelievable teammate. He plays the right way. If you don't love it, you can't play 20 years. So I don't know if I answered that well, but that's kind of how I see it. Drew, you want to kind of hit that? Want to ask it again?
It's a pressure question, correct?
Yeah.
I think like the pressure of basketball was never what he thought of. He never thought that was pressure, right? For him, pressure was how he grew up. That's what was nerve-wracking for him, if his mom was going to come home that night or where he was going to lay his head. So things like that was a whole different type of pressure. When it came to the basketball, it was free for him. It was a place where he could free himself of any worries, anything that had been going on in his day and just have fun. And he always kept it as such. And then once he got good at the sport, his hard work, he always understood if he put the work in that he'd be okay. So I think that's how he handled the pressure or didn't feel it at times.
Can you take us through your day a little bit yesterday?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear this.
First of all, where were you in the building? Like, where were you in the building when you got the shot?
I was in my seat. I was, I think, right off center court, about 8 rows up. So the action was kind of towards the other end, but had a great view of it. The day was special. Honestly, it was. I talked with Coach, and I'm glad he said it's okay for me to go because I wanted to be there, but I wanted to be with our guys as well. I don't want to miss anything, right? But the moment was it was huge. So I took a flight early in the morning, got there around 5 o'clock. I had a hotel room that I barely used. Got to the game with about 20 minutes before game time. Got to say what's up to him during warm-ups. So that was cool just to, connect. I think, for us, that's like big, right? Because I think all of us were at ease. I was probably just as nervous as he was about the record, and just like seeing each other amongst our friends and connecting that way. It felt like, whew, like we're back, doing the same thing we did in high school. And then after the game, went to just be with friends and family. Sat in just like this, sat in a press conference, wanted to hear what he had to say, wanted to just soak up the energy from him, like that. I wanted to hear how he felt in that moment, because for him, it's always the next thing, winning the championship. All right, how do I do it again? And I think this moment kind of slowed him down a little bit. It's one of the first times I really seen him like absorb everything in. So it was awesome to see that.
You have a unique perspective of seeing him as a man more than just a player. What stands out to you as LeBron, the man?
His heart. It's for me. It's unbelievable to see him, and not only him, but the rest of my friends mature and grow in different ways. I see him as a father, as a husband. So those things are cool, like to see the grown-up version just in that manner. But I think one of the coolest things is, like I said, his heart, his willingness to give his time, his effort, his money back to his community. I don't know if any of you have ever been around the Akron area, but what he's doing there is something special. He's building a community within a city, housing, school, medical, and job source is unbelievable. And I don't know what, it's almost going to be separate from Akron pretty soon. Like he's going to create his own city, but he just continues to move. And those kids that he has in this program are a reflection of him. That's who he was, and that's why he puts his heart into it.
Keith talked a little bit about the family aspect earlier. Can you both maybe touch on just the family and not just the two moments themselves, but just coming together as a family to sharing success?
So Drew hit on it. Like, this guy, he's just got a knack with his heart. Like, he never forgets people that have helped him. And I think he gets it from his mother. His mother, she's got a reputation, but she's an unbelievable woman. She's really just like him. Like, she really appreciates people that have helped, and she did an unbelievable job of getting him around the right people when she couldn't take care of him necessarily all by herself, when her mother passed. Because she was very young when she had LeBron. But I think he's so much like her that Drew hit it on the head. Like, he's exactly how he was when he was 13 years old, really. He's just a more grown-up version. But he's always been the same. He's been a great teammate. He always was fun to be around, very bright, caring. Like, he'd come to my son's Little League baseball games. Like, this was after he was drafted. Like, who does that? He'd do his homework even though, he really didn't have to do his homework. It's just the way he does things.
For me, and us as friends, and even me and Coach's relationship, it's always been about trust and developing a bond. And it happened over time. Like, if you ask Coach Danbrough, I didn't say a word when I first used to be around him. I don't even know if he knew I talked outside of just, on the court, but off the court I said absolutely nothing. But our relationship just continued to grow, and it's an appreciation for it, I think, from both parties, that, giving your 100% all to your relationships. That's as simple as I can put it. We just appreciate each other's time, and it means something.
Keith, this is year 25 for you. How have you changed since year one? And the second part is, what does it mean to you? Everybody on your staff here played for you at one time. What does that mean to you?
So what we tell recruits is either those guys are really stupid or I'm not such a bad guy, right? I mean, it means a lot. I think there's very few programs in the country that can say what we can say. You know, I've known Drew since he was 12 years old. You know, I've known Terry Wygant for 38 years or 39 years. I've known Charles for, 36 or something like that. So, I mean, it means a lot. It's always good to be around your friends, but your friends can also tell you that your breath stink. You know, that's a good thing about it. Like, they can tell you the truth, and we can yell and scream. Like me and Drew, like, we were laughing because we're probably two of the most stubborn human beings of all time. But we can get on each other, and then when it's over, it's over. And I think not many people can do that. You need years and years of building that relationship to, like I'm nuts. Like, even tonight, like, I'm so paranoid about giving up leads that I'm always late putting in the subs, and these guys are always getting on me. And I told Drew, I said, can you just let me be me? And they all think I'm nuts, but that's just me, so I'm always a little bit wary of that, like but that's what makes our program a little unique, I think.
How have you changed?
Oh, how have I changed? I think I've calmed down. I still hold people to a really high standard, but when I was young, like, I was relentless, like, hard, tough. I think even when I coached him in high school, like, I treated these guys like they were seniors in college because I thought they could be that good. And I'd probably treated Braun like he was a 4-year NBA guy. I mean, I was ruthless, relentless because I didn't want him to flush it down the toilet. It really was out of love, but it probably didn't appear that way at that time. So, I mean, the good thing about me is I know my weaknesses. And a lot of times those weaknesses are also your strengths. So I would say my patience level is probably my biggest weakness. But it's also a strength because it holds people to a high standard. Would you say I've changed a little?
He's changed some, a little, right? A little. When I say a little, I really mean a little. No. Honestly, what I appreciate in seeing Coach Dambrot at this stage is his passion is still the same, right? I didn't know you at year one, but I knew you when you coached me in high school, and working with him now on the staff, like, the passion is still there, and it just drives everything. And I don't know if that's going to change at all, so, and it's a good thing.
Thanks for coming. I really appreciate you guys coming. And I'm a little wet right now, so I'm going to take these wet clothes off. But I appreciate it. Hopefully we can keep winning some ball games for these guys. I think we're heading in the right direction. See y'all.